Okay, everybody, here we go. It is me, Greg Mannarino. I am so happy to see you all over here. All my favorites are here. You're the greatest. Every one of you. I love you. Okay, so what do we got? I'm laughing. Post market wrap up Friday, May 12th. May 12th, 2023. The last 3 days of this market have been kind of interesting. Markets starting to sell off pretty significantly. Then all of a sudden, in comes the freaking cavalry. We started the day in the green across the board with regard to the market, the Dow, the S&P 500, the Nasdaq. Then things didn't go so well. Things went south quickly and pretty deeply at one point here, and then a miracle happened. Again, the last 3 days we've seen the same thing. This is literally the plunge protection team. This is not some kind of made up thing. It's not a conspiracy. Look it up for yourself. It's real. And this is how the Federal Reserve stabilizes the market. They get in. Why do you think they have a trading desk? Okay, they don't frolic in front of it. They don't play in front of it. You know, they use it to get into the market and prop it up. And that's exactly what happened today. Let's go over a few other things. 10-year yield has been very erratic. Okay, we watched the entire yield curve drop over the last couple of days. Thanks, Mitch. Okay, come up a little bit. This instability in the debt market is very evident here. To me, it should be to you. Not supposed to be like this. You're not supposed to see tremendous moves like this in the entire yield curve, not even just a part of it. I mean, it's craziness. But again, what would you expect in this environment? It's insolvent. It's bankrupt. And who's getting in here? Who's manipulating all the debt? Who's the number one manipulator of debt on the planet Earth? It's the Federal Reserve, okay, and other central banks as well. They manipulate the debt market to bring about a movement of cash in wherever they want it to go. Suppress rates, inflate bubbles in the stock market. They inflate real estate bubbles. They cause malinvestments, all kinds of fun things. And this is deliberate. It's by design, period. You all know that. So again, how we finished the day was a fractional loss for the Dow after it was down substantially. Slight loss for the S&P 500. Again, we did start in the positive, in the green. Nasdaq took the biggest hit today. Nothing major at all here. Debt market, as I said, unstable. Bitcoin, crypto's taking a hit. Gold and silver taking a hit. Crude oil taking a hit here. Relative strength of the dollar, markedly higher today. All right, look, they can do whatever they want, quite obviously. In the last 3 days, I mean, this propping up of the market like this, it's incredible to see it happen. Something tells me right over here somewhere, next week is going to play out to be very, very interesting. In fact, I'm going to say this. The next 2 weeks are going to really be interesting in this market. The bad news just keeps coming here. Consumer sentiment just fell to its lowest level in 6 months. Okay, whatever. That's what they want us to know. And our lovely friend, who's this? Who's this? You know who this is, right? Janet Yellen. Janet Yellen wants you to know something. Are you ready for what she wants you to know? You should already have an idea what I'm talking about here. So, fiscal year so far, the last 7 months. I'm laughing, but I shouldn't be laughing. A $925 billion deficit. Again, debts and deficits are out of control, but we have enough money to fund wars as much as you need. Ex-President Imbecile, he'll tell you, no matter what they need over there, okay, he's going to keep sending cash, billions, tens of billions, hundreds of billions. Is going to be in the trillions. You know that. This is going to go on and on. And I told all of you from day one that this war over there would go on and on and on with no end in sight. Again, we're in a perpetual state of war all the time, but that thing is going to grind on and grind on and grind on with hundreds of billions, trillions of dollars being thrown at it. Okay, this is to keep the system going. All right, now let's talk about this debt ceiling. What are we really talking about? What's the big secret here behind the debt ceiling? We found out Janet Yellen again. We're running out of cash. It's over. The whole thing is about to shut down. You know this better than anybody else if you follow this blog here. Exactly. Oompa Loompa lady. Okay. The system must be fueled. What is actually the debt ceiling? If in fact they come to some agreement here to raise the debt ceiling, what is it actually? What are we saying? We are promising to borrow more exponentially. Okay, and then we're going to hit it again, and then we're going to hit it again. All these are every single time our loving, caring politicians raise the debt ceiling, it's a promise to spend more. It empowers the central banks and the Federal Reserve. What's the greatest fear? All right, there are a couple of things that you need to become aware of. Let's start with this. Central banks fear deflation. They fear deflation like you can't even believe. Why? Because the central bank's power resides in their ability to inflate. And that plays right into the debt ceiling issue here. If, in fact, our politicians had the guts to actually default, we could end the Federal Reserve. What have I been telling you since day one? You want to end any central bank, you could do it in a nanosecond. You prevent them from issuing one single more unit of debt, whether it's a dollar, whether it's a euro, whatever currency that you must or forced to transact in. We have an opportunity here. Okay, if we had a real leader, if we had somebody or a group of people that really, weren't playing the game, and they're all playing the game, they all play the game, we could end the Fed now. We have an incredible opportunity here. Default on the debt. But you see, the people will scream about it because everyone's going to get hit. The stock market is going to get hit. Forget about what will happen to people that are holding debt here or bonds. They're going to get destroyed if this happens. So again, don't default. It's going to hit me in the pocketbook. Oh, no, we can't allow that to happen. So let's just keep empowering the Federal Reserve. Don't you see how this works? So again, what is really behind the raising of the debt ceiling? What does it really mean? It's a promise to borrow more. And what does that do? It makes the central banks more powerful and stronger than they've ever been before. And that's exactly, eventually, what's going to happen is of course, they're not going to allow this whole thing to stop. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. Understand? I hope you get it. You understand what's going on. A default would actually be the best possible scenario. Thank you, Pontus. Again, it would be the best scenario. Again, I believe that, okay? Sure, the stock market would take a hit. People that own bonds, they're going to get decimated. The purchasing power of the dollar ain't going to be too damn pretty. But in the end, we have an opportunity here to take back the system. People won't allow it. Not even the people won't allow it. Carlos, wow, thank you. You get it. You got it. You understand all this. All of you do. So anyway, let's see how this plays out. Whatever. It's kind of an interesting thing, honestly. But what else can I tell you here? What else would you expect in this kind of a freak show? We have this. This is, do you trust this thing? Yeah, you gotta raise. There's no choice. You have no choice. You must raise the debt ceiling so we can borrow some more. Yeah. You know this, people. You know this. Man, I'm freaking sweating. My face is gonna get stuck like that. I know. Maybe it will. What can I tell you? People. Anyway, so let me ask you. So we have this, according to this thing, okay, a $925 billion deficit. And this is just the beginning, okay? We're like a little more than halfway through the fiscal year, just so you know. It's going to get much, much worse here. But again, how is it that we can fund wars endlessly? How can someone here please explain that to me? Because I don't get it. I don't get it. We have money for everything, okay? But we have to promise to borrow more. Isn't that just beautiful? And we have to fund this and fund that. And the what was it? The Inflation Reduction Act? How does that working out, everybody? You paid for it, so are you getting your money's worth? Here's the question of this live event here. Okay. Do you feel like you're getting your money's worth out of the Inflation Reduction Act, which costs, I forget how many freaking hundreds of billions of dollars? You're getting your money's worth out of it? Something tells me you're not. No, I don't think you're getting your money's worth at all. No. Anyway, people, look. So let's just see. Okay. In my opinion here, people, we got to do better than this. Okay. I got almost 1,200 people watching this and only 413 thumbs up. I don't know if we're going to break a record today. What's the record? 1,500? I think it's 1,500 thumbs up for the live stream. We're at 420. It's a good number. It's a good number. We can do better than that. Yeah, take back the country. How? How? When we are living under the rulership of a central bank, we have no representation. We have no voice. People will not allow it to happen. Again, there are too many people dependent on the system. They're, sucking on the breast. I can't say the TIT word because that's a bad word of the system, and they're just milking it. And it's out of control. Lava Girl. Yeah. Lava Girl is the greatest. I hope all of you are subscribed to Lava Girl. Okay. She's awesome. Okay. Yeah, I could say teats, right? I could say that word that doesn't get picked up by the algorithms. Infinite breast milk. Anyway, look, people, they've created a slave society. Let me explain this to you. Let me explain something else to you. I've covered this before, but I want you to think about what I'm going to say. So we have this debt ceiling issue, perpetual debt, ballooning debt. It doesn't stop. It's the nature of the beast. The debt-based economic model demands that we keep pulling cash into the now, pulling cash into the now, pulling cash into the now. Again, raise the debt ceiling, rest the debt ceiling. What has been, let's see how many of you know the answer to this one, okay? Think for a moment. Ballooning global debt. Okay. What is the number one thing that ballooning global debt has done other than, obviously there are obvious things, devaluing the currency, creating slaves to the system. Is that giving you a clue? Let me tell you what the biggest thing is. Okay. If you were to look at, and I've shown you this before, and look this up for yourself. If you look at a chart of global debt, okay, it has literally gone up like a hockey stick. What has paralleled global debt is the population of the world. The human population of the world has risen in tandem. They've risen in tandem. You got it? So what happens when the debt bubble bursts? You think the population is going to continue to rise? No. The population is going to die off. Tens of millions, hundreds of millions, actually, people are going to die when the debt bubble bursts. Again, what the Federal Reserve has done, what central banks collectively have done, they have one product. A central bank's product is debt. That's it. The more debt they issue, the more debt they're called on to issue, the stronger they become, not weaker. Not weaker. You remember that whole farce, and I laughed about it during the Trump administration? Oh, he's bankrupting the Fed. He's bankrupting the Fed. No, you can't bankrupt the Fed. It's impossible to do. They print, and pull cash into now. All it does is suck the purchasing power of the dollar away. President Trump was even calling for negative rates, which makes the Fed even more happy. Makes them spray their shorts all over the place. You can't make this stuff up. It's the truth. Okay. Anyway, so understanding that what the Federal Reserve has done here by implementing and manifesting this hyper bubble in debt is create consumers for their product. Their product is debt. The bigger they can inflate the population, the more consumers they have for their product. So this is why you've seen global debt and the population rise in tandem. You understand? The debt hyper bubble is the greatest threat to human life, period. Even greater than a nuclear exchange. That's really the truth, because the debt bubble, you have to understand, this is not sustainable. It is going to burst. A vast majority of the population is going to die off. And do you think this is by accident? What I just explained to you, understanding that the central banks, the Federal Reserve, their product is debt. The more debt they issue, the stronger they become. They created consumers. They manifested a population boom on the back of surging debt. These people must consume the central bank's product, okay, and use it to transact. And anyway, you know how this works. You every day, you and me, we work for the privilege to borrow those fiat bills from an issuing central bank, but we owe them back, plus interest that they create out of nothing. Imagine this. Honestly, imagine if people heard what I just said, other than all of you that are sitting here watching this. Honestly, yeah. Yeah, look, whatever they got to do to increase the population here, and I'm looking at this thing with the migrants here, of course, increase the population, bring everyone in. It creates more consumers for the Federal Reserve. For those of you that even have the slightest belief that it really matters who sits behind the Resolute desk, it's so cute when people believe in a system that's dead and they just believe in it. They believe it's real. They believe this. As a matter of fact, thanks, Mitch. Again, the entire everything you think is real is not. Okay, we've created an alternative universe. Central banks have created an alternative universe by pulling cash into the now, pulling cash into the now, pulling cash into the now from the future, and inflating and inflating and inflating. It's just pulled resources and everything else into the now. There's going to be a time to pay the piper, and the piper's going to get paid for it. Believe me. You know this here. You think, yeah, exactly. Our votes don't count. We have no voice, nothing. If we had a voice, do you think the system would be the way it is right now? Honestly, got nothing. We have no we're literally taxation without representation. We have nothing. That's what we got. We have a bunch of freaks here who are supposed to represent us. They represent nothing. It's the Federal Reserve. You want to talk to the new freaking vice chair of the Federal Reserve. There's this new freak they got. Whatever. Anyway, what can I tell you, people? That's just the way it is. But nothing is a surprise to anyone here. You all know what's going on here, how this is playing out, how central banks control the world. Again, all you got to think about is just, some people go, oh, Greg is crazy, conspiracy. He says the central banks run the world. Who runs the economy? Who runs the world markets? Who runs the entire financial system? It ain't our freaking representatives anywhere around the world. It's the central banks who answer to no one. Zero. Understand? How can we have a government of the people, by the people, for the people, when we have no voice? We can't tell the Fed what to do, when to do it. They can do whatever they want. So you explain that to me, okay? People, 708, okay, I'll take that number. I'll take it. It's a good number. Anyway, we all know that. Not all bankers are bad. No, look, if you want to look at the whole twisted banking system collectively, yeah, it's pretty horrible. These institutions, via the central banks, they have a stranglehold on every single one of us. And you think they're going to let that go? No. They're going to tighten up that debt. You have a noose around your neck. It's just a matter of time before that trap door opens up. That's it. That's sounds like something's burning. Doesn't that mean like the devil's around or something? I don't believe in the devil anyway. But that's besides the point. We're like, yeah, exactly. Look, what they're doing is breeding us. Central banks are breeding us so we can consume their product. That's it. Okay. Honestly. So going back to what I I'm not even going to answer that. You guys and girls are too much, honestly. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought here. About we're being bred here. We're being bred to consume the product of central banks here. And what are they doing? Look at I showed you a chart, all of you, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, of the value of the dollar, or the purchasing power of the dollar since the inception of the Federal Reserve in 1913. Go look at the chart for yourself. There's 2% left. 2. That's all that's left in the dollar. And that 2% is going extinct. Again, they want it all so they can, again, issue in the new system. Why do you think we're seeing what we're seeing? All the pieces have already been set in place, and now they're starting to dismantle the system piece by piece by piece by piece. You understand? You all get it. I know you do. I'm preaching to the choir here. Excuse me. You want Coco. Coco, he's getting his usual walk. Coco usually gets a nice long walk around this time of the day. I got 3 little creatures. One of them is very sick. In fact, some of you picked up. You said, Greg, you look really tired. I've been up since 2:30 in the morning. I have 2 older female dogs, and one of them has got. But both of them are on every freaking. They got everything wrong with them, unfortunately, and one was really sick last night, so I didn't get to sleep much because of that. But that's okay. You know what? We got to care for our puppies. We love them, no matter how old they are. They're always going to be our babies. They're little innocent things. You know who I hate more than anyone in the world? People that are cruel to animals. I hate people that are cruel to animals. My least favorite people on the planet, as a matter of fact. Anyway, here, people, what else can we talk about before I go? I know I didn't get any complaints, not one yesterday, about my video being too long. That video went like, what, 30 minutes, 32 minutes or something like that. No complaints. And if I did get a complaint, I didn't see it. But I know that those of you who do comment here, and you got some, there's always one of them people out here that complain. There's always a complainer. You know how it is. People complain about this, they complain about that, or whatever it is. It makes them happy to complain. It really does. It gets them to something else to focus on instead of, for example, promising to borrow more cash from central banks, raising the debt ceiling. How about we get rid of this organization here? We have an opportunity here. We have an opportunity here. We really do. Is it going to happen? Are we going to get rid of it? No way. Ain't going to happen. It's just crazy. Thank you, Clever Custom Performance. Thank you, Mitch, again. Yeah, anyway. All right, people, look, I think we've done all we can for this week. This week has drawn to a close. It's been pretty incredible, pretty interesting, but I think next week is going to be even more incredible. I really, really do. I believe a big move is coming to the downside for this market, unless, of course, they decide. Look what they did the last 3 days. The last 3 days, I mean, honestly, the market started to tank, and then the cavalry comes in. You have to realize, again, they're going to try to keep this propped up. And even if we find, I'm not calling for a crash here. You all know that. I am calling for a correction here. A correction, 5-10%. Something along those lines. There still is this black hole into the market, and the market has no business being here. It's only here because of suppressed rates, distortions across the spectrum of everything right now. It's not real. The whole environment is not real. This thing. Thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate that. Slaughterhouse on Monday. Who knows? We'll see. Monday, I'm thinking more like Tuesday. We'll see. Again, I'm looking at the charts, as I always do, trying to make sense of this market here. And the charts are good. It's a tool. Charts are not like, chiseled in stone. When you're looking at these charts, a chart of whatever it might be, X, Y, Z, let's say the S&P 500. You're looking at the S&P 500, and you could look at this in many different time areas, an hour, 15 minutes, a day, a week. And a lot of it is open to interpretation. It's really the truth here. But to me, it really does look like this market should fall relatively soon, like I said, 5%, 10%. But again, the real meltdown is not going to begin or end in the stock market. People have been telling you this for years. Yeah. Debt market. The debt, what would set this off? Okay, let's throw a hypothetical out here. It's getting long again. I'm talking. Okay. Let's say there is a debt default. What's going to happen right off the bat? Of course, the stock market would take a hit, but the debt market is going to be the worst. The debt market is going to you're going to see some big moves here in the debt market, and that is going to hit the stock market. Could this turn into a self-feeding event here? Sure. Look, I think, and I said this before, initially I said there was a 50-50 shot of a debt default. When most people were telling me that they did not believe it happened, my odds went up to about 65%. I still say there's a 65% chance of a debt default. And in my opinion, and I'm sure most of you would agree, a debt default would really present us with an opportunity. But instead of our politicians looking for an alternative to circumvent the Federal Reserve, look, the Federal Reserve is already in, they're not fulfilling their two mandates, okay? Price stability. Do we have price stability? Yeah, we're seeing prices rise, and I guess in a stable fashion, okay? But they're not remaining static. Okay, you want to strip out energy, you want to strip out food, they're going to tell you how great everything is, okay? Looking at the PPI number that they just floated out here. full employment and price stability. That's their mandate. They've already have defaulted on this. They got it all wrong, or have they got it wrong? No, this is all by design, of course. So we could legally get rid of the Federal Reserve because their mandates, two of them, at least one, okay? They could make an argument. The Federal Reserve could make an argument about full employment, even though we know the numbers are totally fake. But they could make an argument that they have maintained full employment. Although, what did we just hear from the latest couple of freaks in the Fed? Okay, people got to lose their jobs to make inflation come down. Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine if President Imbecile, I can't stand him. Lovely President Biden thing, ominous mass. Imagine if he were to say, people, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. The Federal Reserve is saying that in order for inflation to come down, you have to lose your job. You think that would really go over very well with the people? How about no, it wouldn't. So he'll never tell you that. It can't tell you that. But anyway, so with the Federal Reserve is in breach of contract is what I'm trying to try. Couldn't think of it. The Federal Reserve is in breach of contract right now. They have a mandate to maintain price stability. Not only did they overshoot their 2% target, they by their own numbers, they're telling us we're at 5%. Okay, I mean, come on now. We know it's way more than that. Thanks, Mitch. Again, you get it. So we have the grounds right now to get rid of the Fed. And will we? No. Thank you, Pontus. I appreciate it. I could just keep talking, people. And I love being here. I feel like, look, I feel like we're in a gigantic room, all right, filled up with almost 1,500 people right now. And we're talking, we're getting this stuff out here. See what I'm saying? Anyway, what else can I say? We win, they lose. Let me know when that happens. We're not winning shit. Can't say that word anymore. We're not winning nothing, okay? And they have a stranglehold on us. Everything that we're getting, Jimbo, thank you. Everything you're seeing right now has already been planned out a decade ago or longer. We are living in the side effect, okay, of it all. And if you don't get it by now, every single one of our loving, caring representatives is in on the same situation. They know what's going on. They know what's going on, but they can't let you know about it. They can't tell you these things because see, they'll have their ambitions to move up higher, get reelected. They don't care about you. All they care about is themselves and their families and their kickbacks that they're getting from this corporation and that corporation. How do you think they will become multi gazillionaires just because they're nice and they're really good people? Do you think that's the truth? No, it isn't the truth. Jimbo Slice, thanks again. Yeah, it's just about sums it all up, people. Really just about sums it up. Crazy stuff. But anyway, all right, that's going to be it. We're going to call this here. Look at this. We got over 1,000 thumbs up. That's a very good number. Okay. Video's going up 28 minutes. I love being here with you. We will do this again. When are we going to do it? Sunday for my markets, a look ahead segment. And we'll sum that up too. It's going to be interesting. Like I said, I'm going to put a lot of thought into what I'm just going to let the cat out of the bag here a little bit. I think we're going to see a big move in this market to the downside. 14 days, somewhere in this range. I think we're going to see this market take a big hit. Unless, of course, they decide to prop it up. But that's I'm going out here on a limb, and I'm just telling you what I feel. I'm still betting against the S&P 500. I have a pretty large position here at this particular time. I got to build a nice position over at least a week or so by now. So we'll see how this plays out, people. All right. Love all of you. Thank you for being here. People, we're going to do what we usually do. Ready? Every Friday, and I don't care who's looking. You ready? Bring it in. Love each other, care about each other, be charitable. We got each other. And to me, that's the most important thing, honestly. You wonder what this is? Someone wrote that. This is the schedule for the track, drag racing. Unfortunately, there's no racing this weekend. At least I don't think so. Maybe there's street classes, and I do not have a street car that I can run. So anyway, like I said, people, I'll see you all Sunday. Thank you. Thanks again. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for the support. Almost 1,100 here. Please share this stuff. Get it out there. Comment. All right. I know most of you did comment here. Yes, I'm getting the CUDA tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm getting my CUDA, 1968 CUDA I got. I will do a little thing on that. All right. That's all, people. I'm out of here. Love you. Love you. See you Sunday. And well, that's all.